Welcome back. We are in week 7, and in the previous sessions, we have covered the topics related to cyber security and attacks, various security threats. Also, we have gone in detail related to viruses and malware. Now, in this session, we are going to discuss the concepts of cyber hygiene. So, uh, much like regular personal hygiene practices prevent the physical illness, effective cyber hygiene helps to prevent a wide range of cyber threats, including malware, phishing, ransomware, and data breaches. So, cyber hygiene refers to ongoing practices that helps maintain the cybersecurity health of individuals and organizations. So it focuses on implementing strong cyber hygiene measures to protect uh, the sensitive information, prevent the cyber threats, and enhance the security resilience. So companies are improving their cybersecurity strategies by adopting regular cyber hygiene practices, which help reduce the vulnerabilities to the threat. So good cyber hygiene not only identify the potential security weaknesses, but also strengthens the defense against the threat. So ultimately improving the overall security posture of an individual or organization. So cyber hygiene is essential for anyone interacting with the digital systems, whether for personal use or for businesses or for education. So it's about establishing habits and routines that promote data security and protect digital identities. So cyber hygiene involves like developing strong cybersecurity habits to stay ahead of the cyber threats and protect against online security risk. So cyber hygiene applies to individuals, businesses, and organizations alike. So from securing your personal email account to protecting some sensitive company information, everyone benefits from adopting good cyber hygiene practices. So cyber hygiene addresses key security issues, including breaches from hacker, malware, viruses, etc., to data losses due to unbacked practices of data storage. Also, outdated softwares, which increases the vulnerabilities, and ineffective antiviruses, if not regularly upgraded against the new threats. So, even small habits like verifying email source and avoiding suspicious links can make a significant differences. So now let's discuss some of the related concepts. So understanding cyber hygiene is enhanced by exploring the related concepts. For example, the cybersecurity, which we have discussed in the previous sessions. So just a recap. So cybersecurity is the overarching field dedicated to protect the computer servers, mobile devices, and electronic systems, networks, etc., from malicious attack. So cybersecurity encompasses a range practices, tools, and strategies designed to safeguard against the threat, such as malware, phishing, and ransomware, and so on. So it includes various domains such as network security, application security, information security. All of these we have discussed in our previous sessions. So all these type of domains basically contribute to a comprehensive defense against the cyber threats. Digital footprints. So a digital footprints refers to the trail of data that individuals leave behind while using the internet. This include information such as browsing history, social media activities, online transactions, and so on. So maintaining good hygiene plays a crucial role in managing and reducing one's digital footprint. So effective management of the digital footprint not only enhance privacy but also helps mitigate the risk of identity theft and unauthorized data usage. In the same way, cyber threat and data privacy protections, they are the integral of understanding the landscape of cybersecurity. So by recognizing the various type of cyber threats, individuals and organization can better prepare for the threats and mitigation risk. Simultaneously, prioritizing the data privacy and protection ensures that sensitive information is safeguarded against the unauthorized access and exploration. So together, these concepts forms the foundation of robust cybersecurity strategies. Now let's discuss some of the key practices that are used in cyber hygiene. These practices are recommended to be followed. So let's discuss these practices one by one. So strong password management. So effective password management is crucial for safeguarding personal and organizational accounts against unauthorized access. So the key practices include like creating the strong password. So when we create the strong password, how we can create it, right? So we have to use like combination of upper letter, lower letter, some numbers and some special characters. So when we create a password, we should mix all these type of combination because it will enhance the security. So mixing different characters takes an effective strategy to create a strong password. Sometimes we also use password managers. So there are certain tools available like LastPass, like Bitwarden. So these tools assist users in generating strong passwords and complex passwords so that it's not very easy to guess those passwords. In the same way, regular password updates. So it's so crucial that we change our password periodically, ideally every 3 to 6 months, to further mitigate the risk of unauthorized access. In the same way, implementing alerts for any suspicious activities on account, promoting immediate password changes when necessarily. So all these basically activities are required to maintain the cyber hygiene. In the same way, enabling two-factor authentication. So we are adding like an extra layer of security by requiring a second form of verification beyond just a password. So we keep discussing our key practices normally to be used to maintain cyber hygiene. So regular software and system update is the next key practices needs to be followed. So regular software and system updates are critical components of effective cyber hygiene, as they help protect against the vulnerabilities that could exploit by cyber threats. So under these key practices, patch management. So basically conducting like regular assessment to identify the software and the system that required updates. In the same way, prioritizing updates based on the sensitivity of the vulnerabilities and the criticality of the system involved is another best practices under the patch management. And we have to also test the patches in control environment before deploying them widely to minimize the potential disruption. So enabling automatic update helps ensure that the latest security patches are installed promptly, reducing the risk of exploitation from known vulnerabilities. So if we are enabling automatic updates for operating system, antivirus softwares, and commonly used applications to streamline the update process. So these are needed to be automated. In the same way, regular check and continue configuring the update setting is required to ensure they align with the organizational security policies and user preferences. Monitoring the update installation to ensure they are completed successfully and address any issues that may arise is another key that needs to be regularly viewed. The next key practice in cyber hygiene category is data backup and recovery. So data backup and recovery are essential components of a robust cybersecurity strategies, ensuring that critical information is preserved and can be restored in the event of data loss. So the key practices in this area include backup methods. So local backup methods involve saving the copies of the data on physical devices like USB, some hard disk drives, or some network attached storage systems, etc. Cloud-based backups are also utilizes the online storage solution. So we have many cloud-based backup uh, options available like Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, and so on. So we are always required to back up our data on some disk storage or cloud-based storage. Now, in the same way, disaster recovery planning is the key. So disaster recovery planning involves creating a comprehensive strategy to restore the operations and recover data following maybe a cyber attack or maybe some nature disaster happen or maybe system failure. So the importance is having a well-defined data recovery plan, minimizing the downtime and data loss. So ensuring like business continuity and maintaining the user trust. So the next key practice in cyber hygiene is the use of antivirus and anti-malware tools. So incorporating antivirus and anti-malware tools into the cybersecurity strategies is a vital aspect of maintaining effective cyber hygiene. So by utilizing reliable antivirus softwares with real-time um, monitoring capabilities, individuals and organizations can significantly reduce their risk of malware infections. So this will enhance their overall security postures and protect the sensitive data from unauthorized access or from corruption. Um, in the same way, safe browsing practice is another key practices under the cyber hygiene. So implementing safe browsing practices such as recognizing the phishing attempts and using secure website and so on. So these are some vital for protecting the personal and maintaining the online security. So by being vigilant about the legitimacy of emails and website and ensuring the secure connections. So individuals can significantly reduce their risk of falling victims to cyber threats and safeguard their sensitive information from the unauthorized access. Also, when we are accessing certain web pages or websites, we always look for HTTPS. So always check for HTTPS at the beginning of the URL when entering the personal information, because most modern browser display a padlock icon in the address bar for secure sites. So these are some of the cyber hygiene practices that we have to learn and adopt to save ourselves from any kind of cyber attack. Now, in case of network security, those practices are also the key. So network security encompasses the policies, the practices, and the tools designed to protect the networks, devices, and the data from unauthorized access, from cyber threats and damages. So effective network security measures are critical for safeguarding the sensitive information and ensuring the integrity and availability of the network resources. So firewall configuration is required because it's a barrier between the trusted and the untrusted network. In the same way, using the virtual private network, especially when we are using the public Wi-Fi networks. Another key practice in the cyber hygiene is the education and the awareness program. So cyber security awareness training is required. So continuous education on cyber security best practices is essential for empowering the users to recognize the potential threats and adheres to good cyber hygiene. So threat recognition, um, so training usually helps users to identify like common threats such as like phishing links and social engineering type of attack and malware, etc. So these reduce the likelihood of successful attack if the users are familiar with these type of threats. In the same way, promoting like security culture. So a strong cybersecurity awareness program fosters a culture of security within the organization, encouraging users to take an active role in protecting the sensitive information um, of the organization or their own. Now let's try to discuss some more key practices normally needs to be followed, and these are comes under the cyber hygiene. So we normally have many types of account. So monitoring our accounts regularly is also one of the key practices in the cyber hygiene. So monitoring your financial and online account for unauthorized activity is really a crucial aspect of maintaining a good cyber hygiene. So like regularly viewing your account, for example, so it could help detect like some suspicious transaction or some unauthorized access early. So this will prevent further financial losses. In the same way, setting of some routine to check like bank statements and some credit card activities and some online account logins which are not familiar. So these are some key type of monitoring activities that we need to follow. So this proactive monitoring allows us to identify if there is any compromised information, and we can act swiftly to prevent the identity theft. Now, sharing too much personal information, such as the our names, addresses, phone number, social security details, birth dates, and so on. So these type of personal information can make you vulnerable because these are resulted into the data theft or identity theft. So cyber criminals normally they can use this information to impersonate you or gain access to your account. So what you are sharing or what we are sharing online build our digital footprint. So impacting both personal and professional reputation. Normally, a careless post can shape how the employees, colleagues, and acquaintance presence of us. So additionally, like sharing personal details invites some invasion targeted ads also, and some marketing ads that you might be involved in some targeted ad and marketing from some organizations and company. So by managing your online information, you can limit unwanted ads and safeguard your privacy. The use of pirated software, again, uh, this type of use is so dangerous because um, the pirated software often contain malicious code that can infect your device and steal your personal information. So it is so important to always use the legitimate software. We always purchase software from authorized source, and by keeping these practices, cyber hygiene practices, it will protect our devices, and it will protect our data, and of course uh, it protects ourselves from any harm. In the same way, um, we can also look into the practices, cyber hygiene practices, to avoid the social engineering attacks. So um, we have to know like what we are clicking. So enhancing online security by avoiding using or clicking some suspicious links of some senders, and fall into the trap. So we also have to be cautious while we use our emails. Normally, if we receive emails where we see some strange addresses, and we see some strange announcements, messages, or some you know like offers normally you receive in the email. So these are normally not legitimate emails, and these are suspicious email, and we should not respond to those emails. What we are downloading is also very important to us, to ensure that we always download any files, any software from trusted source, and we always have antivirus protection, uh, uh, which basically ensures that the downloaded files does not have any malware or viruses. So regularly deleting the unused app is another uh, cyber hygiene activities. So those app which are not using regularly, um, so you should delete those app regularly, delete those app which are not using it, and always uh, download any kind of programs or app from some official store. This will minimize the security risk associated with downloading the malware along with the legitimate file. Now let's discuss some of the initial tests for cyber hygiene. So initial tests for cyber hygiene are crucial for assessing the effectiveness of the current practices, and current practices that are being used in the organization, and it also identify the area for improvement also. So here you can see there are some initial tests that we can implement, and we can see if these tests are being implemented in our organization or not. So self-assessment checklist. So this self-assessment checklist help individual or organization to evaluate their cyber security hygiene practices. So for example, um, there can be questions like are all the softwares and the operating system up to date? or we are updating it regularly. Are we using strong password, unique password, and are these accounts are secure? In the same way, there may be another question related to the two-factor authentication. So are we using the two-factor authentication in our password verification? And also, like, are we conducting regular backup of our important data? So all these questions basically are required to be answered for self-assessment checklist. In the same way, the security policies, the procedures that your organization they are following, or they have. So are these security policies documented and communicated? So we have to ask these type of questions to to have some initial test related to the cyber hygiene. In the same way, the phishing test. So we have to assess like users awareness of phishing attack, and their ability to recognize like suspicious email. So we can create some simulation where we can have some phishing emails that mimics like a threat email, and then we track the response. We try to see if the users are clicking those links, clicking those for example offers, or they are maybe entering their credentials on some forms, what type of data they are ready to expose. So all these are required to see if our cyber hygiene practices are being implemented in our organization or not. So providing feedback and additional training based on the results. So what we have to do is, based on the feedback and the data that we collect, so we can provide some additional training to improve our cyber hygiene in our organization. In the same way, vulnerability scanning. So we have to identify the known vulnerabilities in our system, maybe in our software and networks. So we have to use some automated tool that will scan the systems, the softwares, and the tools that you are using it, to know if there is any vulnerabilities that exist in the system. So unpatched software, like misconfiguration. Sometimes the systems are misconfigured, software are not patched, weak security settings. So all these type of vulnerability scanning tool will provide you all these details. So we have to follow up, prioritize the redemption based on the severity of the vulnerabilities that are being found in the system, network, or maybe in the software that you are using it. In the same way, the another initial test to for the cybersecurity is the awareness and the training. So we have to keep regularly assessing our employees for cybersecurity awareness and training. So we have to keep conducting regular training sessions to educate them about the latest threats and the best practices, conduct simulated attacks to assess their ability to recognize and report suspicious activity, and so on. And security configuration reviews. So we have to evaluate the security configuration of the system and the devices. So we have to review like firewalls settings, access control, and network segmentation. Also, we have to check for like default password that may not be having any changes, because normally the default password are very easily exposed. And also we have to assess the security settings of our mobile devices and our application. So conducting these initial tests for cybersecurity and cyber hygiene basically helps the organization to identify the weaknesses in their security posture, and it reinforce the best practices among the users. So regularly repeating these tests can really leads to continuous improvement to the cyber security awareness and resilience against the threat. So as you can see, these are some of the data breach that are being recorded. And what we have here, when this breach is recorded, what is the impact, what is the cause of that breach, and what is the lesson learned, right? So in 2013, Target recorded a data breach impacting the personal information of billions of the customers stolen. So because of the data breach, millions of the um, customer information was stolen. And what was the cause of that? If you have a look here, so the main cause was weak points of sales system and poor security practices. So you can see, if we don't follow the cyber hygiene, this is what will happen. And what lesson we have learned from this breach is, it is so important for us to ensure that the system that we are using, the application software, or maybe the hardware and the operating system and so on, so they must have robust security mechanism enabling into those applications. So it is so important to secure like payment systems, and we need to also follow the robust protocols. In the same way, in 2017, another breach was recorded, and this time, um, 147 million data was exposed. And what was the failure, or the reason? The reason was the failure to patch unknown vulnerabilities. So there was some known vulnerabilities, and the organization were unable to patch that known vulnerabilities. So that resulted in what? That resulted in cyber attack, and you can see 147 million data was exposed. So it is so important to timely um, update our um, patches, and ensure that our softwares, our different assets that we are using it, they are patch, and they are ready for any vulnerabilities if there is any. So we have the answer for those vulnerabilities. In the same way, another example, you can see in 2013, Yahoo recorded the data breach, and over 1 billion user account was affected. So the cyber criminal, they have breached the Yahoo server, and they have stolen 1 billion user account. So what was the reason why this happened? So weak security practice and lack of incident response planning. So Yahoo was not using the security practices as was recommended, and there was no incident response planning. So in case of cyber attack happen, there was no plan how to address those issues, how to overcome with that attack. So the incident response team has no idea how to respond to such type of attack if that happen. So what is the lesson learned? That we need strong security measures and effective incident responses. So we normally have controls to overcome any cyber threats, but as we have learned earlier, that cyber criminals are becoming more professional in terms of knowledge and so on. So in case if there is a cyber attack, so you should have a plan B, like you should have incident response team that will basically address the incident that happened, right? So to avoid minimum losses, so the incident response team must act in a timely manner, so that the losses are minimal, and so on. So so what we have learned from these examples, that data breaches or any kind of breaches demonstrate the vulnerabilities that exist in our system or in our assets that we are maintaining it. And because of these vulnerabilities, there are potential consequences of cyber attack, and of course the poor security practices are being followed. That means, so the key takeaway is to prioritize the proactive security, a regular update, and incident response planning is the key, because in case of incident happened, so there has to be some incident response planning to protect personal information or customer information, and that will basically sustain the customer trust. So we are in the digital age, characterized by ubiquity of social media, instant messaging, and other online platforms that has profoundly transformed our interactions. So these platforms facilitate instant global communication, fostering both personal and professional connections. However, rapid pace and accessibility of online communication presents unique challenges, including cyberbullying and imperative of netiquette. So, cyberbullying, a growing issue in today's digital landscape, is defined as bullying that occurs through digital devices, such as mobile devices, computers, and tablets. So, this form of harassment is unique because it transcends the physical boundaries, allowing predators to reach victims anytime, anywhere. With the prevalence of internet connected devices among the young people, the potential of cyberbullying has surged, making it widespread concern. So, cyberbullying is the use of digital technologies such as social media, messaging apps, websites, and online forums to harsh, threaten, embarrass, or target another person. So, unlike traditional bullying, which often face to face, cyberbullying occurs in the virtual space and can be more pervasive and relentless due to the constant connectivity of digital devices. So, by understanding these challenges and practices, we can have like good netiquette. Individuals can and navigate the online world safely and responsibly. So, let's discuss some of the common forms of cyberbullying. So, as we have just discussed, cyberbullying can manifest in many forms, and each with unique characteristics and efforts on the victim. So, here are like some most common forms of cyberbullying. So, harassment. So, harassment in cyberbullying context typically means sending some hurtful, threatening, or obscene messages to victims. So, this harassment may be spread across multiple platforms, making it difficult for the victim to escape the abuse. So, the bully might use like email, social media, some direct messaging, or text messaging to target the victims repeatedly. Even after being asked to stop harassment, the harassment often escalates over time, causing like significant psychological stress. So, the impact of such type of cyberbullying is constant exposure of harassment, and this can lead to different types of emotional and physical distress. So victims may withdraw like socially and avoid interacting online platform and so on. Another form of cyberbullying is denigration. So this type of cyberbullying where the person posts like fake harmful statements or spread certain rumors about someone with the intention of damaging their reputation. So, unlikely the harassment or direct confrontation, uh, cyberbullying typically occurs in public space, and the buller may use the social media post or forums or group discussion, allowing false information to spread quickly and widely. So the next form of cyberbullying is impersonation, which is also known as catfishing or identity theft. So this form of cyberbullying, where a person pretend to be someone else online to post damaging, embarrassing, or inappropriate content. So this tactic is often used to harm the victim's reputation, manipulating others into disliking the victims or create personal, social, or even the professional problem for the person being impersonated. Some of the example is like a bully may set up social media account with the victim's name or its photos and post offensive contents or harass other people. So a person gain unauthorized access to the victim's email or social media account and post inflammatory statements that could harm the victim's reputation. The other form of cyberbullying is outing. So in this form of cyberbullying, someone shares private, sensitive, or embarrassing information like photos, videos of another person publicly without their consent. So this can be done out uh, for taking some revenge or sometimes just for fun, but it is highly damaging, and it exposes the victim's name, shame, and often long lasting social repercussion. Example like posting screenshot of some private conversation that contain maybe some sensitive information about the victim on social media, and so on. Let's discuss some more form of cyberbullying. So cyber stacking. So this is another kind of cyberbullying. So it's a persistence and often invasive form of harassment where the bully obsessively monitors messages or even attempt to control the victim's online activities. So uh, cyber stalkers might use fake accounts, follow the victims every online post, and send unwanted messages. Some even attempts to hack into the victim's social media or email accounts for to gather like some personal information. Trolling is another form of cyberbullying. So in trolling, some post proactive, disruptive, or offensive comments are being posted, and that way might upset or manipulates like others into reacting the post emotionally. So trolls often use like some fake or anonymous account and may target public figures, um, some community pages, or maybe some random individually. So trolls thrives on creating chaos in comment section or in online communities. So let's discuss what is the impact of cyberbullying. So cyberbullying has very severe and long-lasting effects on mental, emotional, and psychological well-being of the victim. So the impact can be profound and multifaceted, manifesting in various ways that affects the victim's daily life and overall quality of life. So let's discuss some of the key effects of cyberbullying. So cyberbullying can lead to significant psychological effect including um, like depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, chronic stress, and fear of online interaction. So in severe cases, victim may experience suicidal thoughts also. So these impact can be profoundly affects mental health, social relationship, and overall quality of life of individuals. In the same way, cyberbullying can lead to withdrawal from the social activities, resulting in the increased isolation and loneliness of victims. So, additionally, the emotional toll can negatively affect the academic performance, causing disengagement from the school and a decline in their grades. So, these social effects can further compound the challenges faced by those targeted by cyberbullying. Further, cyberbullying can lead to significant behavioral changes, including increased engagement in the risky behavior, such as rankless actions or maybe substantial abuse, as victim seeks coping mechanism. Additionally, some may exhibit like retentional aggregation, uh, so attempting to regain the control or seek revenge, which can negatively impact their relationship and overall well-being. In the same way, cyberbullying can lead to various physical health issues, including sleep disorder, insomnia, resulting in fatigue. Victim may also experience like tension, headaches, or some migraine, also recorded in some cases. Additionally, some chronic stress can weaken the immune system and highlighting the significant impact of cyberbullying on overall health. Now let's discuss what strategies are required to prevent and combat the cyberbullying. So to effectively combat the cyberbullying, it is essential to implement a comprehensive awareness, education, and intervention strategies. So awareness programs are critical in addressing the cyberbullying by educating individuals about its danger and promoting positive online behavior. So the primary objective of the awareness program should be to include like educating participants about the nature and the impact of cyberbullying, promoting positive online behavior, creating supportive community, engaging students in discussion about their online experiences and empowering them to take a stand against the cyberbullying. In the same way, training teachers and school staff to recognize the sign of cyberbullying and respond effectively, and conducting some interactive sessions where the participant can learn about the cyberbullying through presentation, maybe discussion, and some activities. So these can include guest speaker, such as like maybe mental health professionals or some law enforcement officials who can provide the expert insights. So in the same way, another strategy to prevent and combat cyberbullying is uh, establishing effective reporting and support systems. So establishing effective reporting and support system is essential in addressing the cyberbullying. These systems empowers the victims, provide necessarily assistance, and foster a safe online environment. So the primary objective of the robust reporting mechanism should be to include like the system has to be user friendly in terms of providing the features to record and report the cyberbullying. Anonymous reporting option should be also provided in that system. So clear reporting guidelines, timely response, and follow up for some escalation procedure is what is required. Especially for severe incidents, the platform should have escalation procedures in place that involve notifying like law enforcement or some relevant authorities when necessarily. In the same way, another strategy is for promoting empathy and digital citizenship. So, promoting empathy and digital citizenship is a proactive approach to reduce the cyberbullying incidents. So, by educating students on the importance of understanding others' feelings and responsible online behaviors, so a school can cultivate a culture of respect and kindness in the digital interaction. So these initiatives not only empower students to act positively, but also contribute to creating a safer online community for everyone. In the same way, another excellent strategy is to implement clear cyberbullying policies. So, cyberbullying policies is essential for organizing, such as okay, implementing clear cyberbullying policies is essential for organizations such as schools, workshops, and online platforms to address and mitigate the incidents of cyberbullying effectively. So, policies has to be well written, and these policies serves as a framework for preventing, reporting, and responding to cyberbullying, creating a safer environment for the user, and policy development for the cyberbullying, its scopes including its applicability to the students and employees, and establish a simple reporting procedure for victims and bystanders. So it must also outline like a fair investigation process and specify consequences for offenders to foster a safe and respectful environment. The next strategy could be parental and teacher involvement. So parental and teacher involvement is crucial in preventing the cyberbullying. Educating parents about the safe internet practices and fostering open communication is essential. Teachers should receive training to recognize the sign of cyberbullying and facilitate classroom discussion. Collaborative efforts between the parents and the teachers strengthen the community ties and promote a supportive environment for children. So now let's discuss Netiquette. So the Netiquette is a blend of network and etiquette, which encompasses the set of rules and guidelines governing appropriate behavior and communication in an online environment. Adhering to good netiquette is essential for fostering the respect, productivity, and constructive online interaction. So, good netiquette is vital in the digital age as it shapes how individuals interact online. So, by adhering to netiquette guidelines, users can contribute to positive online environment that encourage respectful communication and collaboration. So now let's discuss some of the essential practice of netiquettes. So be respectful. So treat others with respect, just as you would be in a face-to-face interaction. Avoid using any offensive language, name calling, or engaging in personal attack. In the same way, we have to think before the post. What we are posting, we have to think before we post. So we have to ensure that we know the potential impact of the information that we are posting it. What is the impact of that? So um, something that we post online, it can be challenging to remove. So we have to be very careful what we are posting. uh, to online platforms. In the same way, protect privacy. This is essential practices and principles that needs to be followed. So we do not need to share someone else's private information, images, or maybe videos without their consent. We have to understand the importance of privacy settings on social media platforms and others to it. So use of proper language and tone. Avoid using all caps, which can be perceived as shouting. Uh, Excessive emojis is also needs to be avoided. And in the same way, if we are using scarecrams, that are also sometimes misunderstood. So we have to avoid using them in our communication. In the same way, we have to be inclusive and considerate. So avoid exclusionary behavior, such as like forming close group um, that exclude others without a reason. We have to be inclusive in discussion and consider diversity of opinion. In the same category, avoid spamming and trolling. So do not send unsolicited or irrelevant messages repeatedly. Avoid posting comments intended to provoke emotion response or disrupt discussion. So all these are the essential principles of netiquette. In the same way, respect cultural differences. So understand that the internet is a global platform with pupils from diverse background and different religion and different region and so on. So we have to be aware of the sensitivity of the cultural differences, and we have to basically respect the culture of others also. So this completes this session. Looking forward to our next session.